Welcome back, everybody. It is Wednesday, Redness Day, March 18th. You believe this? 15th. 15th. March 15th. Don't get ahead of myself here. All right. March 15th. And 2023, it is 2 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Chicago time. Welcome to Mob Vlog. This is where we talk about the Chicago outfit, Las Vegas connections to organized crime, and various other things. So welcome, guys. It's Mob Vlog. Mr. Red Wemette, how are you doing today?
I'm getting along here.
Fantastic. Red's going up and down in temperature. He's in Florida, but originally Red's from Chicago. He was an FBI mole who wired up his porn store to record people in the Chicago outfit, including Frank Schweiss, and put a lot of bad people away, or good people away, depending on who you are. Red, welcome into the show today, man. It's good to have you with us again. And God, we've been doing this for over 2 years now, Red.
Yeah.
Last month.
Live for over 2 years.
Last year marks 2 years of us sitting here talking and interacting with all the people who watch the channel, which Julie M, Shane Weaver, Greg Polly, BSJ, all of you. It is so nice to see you guys. Slapsy Maxie, you're always here. Kathy Jean, 67 Vlad, Sonny Zaro, David Grimpy, everybody's here. Tommy Bridges, John Wallace. I went and had lunch with Yogi the other day. He's from the channel too, watches this. And it's nice to have all you guys around here and with us. We're going to talk about Tony Pellicano today. That's going to be the topic of our show. And there's a new, so 2 years, it had to be about 2 years ago, Red?
2 years ago. I did a video about it.
You did a video about it. And we were sitting there. Well, you did a video when you were contacted by the New York Times.
That's correct.
Benedict Mastriani, thank you. I'm glad that you're enjoying the material today. Thanks for that super sticker. You and I talk probably every other day, I would say, and we at least once a week the conversation starts up. What are we going to talk about next week? At least what?
That's your favorite question for me.
It is my favorite question. I'm like, what are we going to talk about next week? And Red, a couple of years ago, said, hey, how about Anthony Pellicano? And I said, who's Anthony Pellicano? I've never heard the name before in my life. And Red goes into this long thing about this Anthony Pellicano, a private investigator from Chicago, knew Tony Spilotro. You even met him, right, Red?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I was introduced to him by Marshall Cafano.
Red is the Forrest Gump of Chicago. That's you've just bounced around and met this person, that person. Marshall Caifano took you to go meet Tony Pellicano.
That's correct.
And what happened?
Actually, Johnny Rogers, who was with him at the time, Elvis Johnson Rogers, was getting some lock picks from him. And I took a liking to the lock picks myself, and I got some from him. But they were things that you really couldn't get, like for opening up an ace lock, where it's a round lock like that. It was made by somewhere in Stockton, California, special lock, and it gave you the key code so you can actually make a key for that lock off that particular thing. He had some very specialized equipment. I mean, extremely specialized equipment. And Rogers was big on breaking into doors and all different kinds of things. So
Okay.
That's why I was there. I just went along for the ride.
All right. So Red
Meeting
suggests.
not about me.
All right. So Red suggests let's talk about and do a show about him. So we did, and we learned a lot. I learned a lot. You guys might have learned something. Maybe learned something you didn't know about him. Maybe you didn't even know who the guy was. Then all of a sudden, our video that we did a couple of years ago, I notice, boop, gets a sudden uptick. People are suddenly watching it out of the blue. Well, it turns out the New York Times put up a piece about Tony Pellicano, the sin eater. He called himself a sin eater. Said, I'm a sin eater.
He ate the sins of the stars.
And it's the crimes of Anthony Pellicano. That's the title of it. Now, why he sat down and did the interview with them, I can't imagine.
He got ambushed. He got ambushed.
Red, I'm telling you, I watched this last night, man, and they twisted this. The way they edited it and the looks that, it's just.
When they asked me to do the interview, when they asked me to do an interview on him, I said, okay, what's it about? Is he on board with it? What's the budget on this thing? I want to know what you're going to do. And they wouldn't answer my questions. And so I said, no, I'm backing away from this thing. I don't want to bang Tony like that. I really don't. But originally where they got is we did a thing on The Real Hollywood Fixer, and they went on the internet and saw us doing it together.
Yeah, which was that was 2 years ago.
Right.
And then what was it, a year ago that they contacted you and said, hey, let's do, would you come in for an interview? And
no, then they wanted to come to my home. And I said, I'm not inviting the New York Times to my home. And they were quick to point out to me too, this is not a paid interview.
Yeah.
We just want to invade your home, invade your life, the New York Times, right?
Yeah. Of course. Of course.
It's a rag. It's a rag.
All right, Tim Hunt, what was his function and where was he at? I never heard of this guy. So let's start with who he was, Red. And he was from Chicago. And I guess he got some training in the military in cryptology.
Yes.
Okay.
And
so when he got out of the Army, he started the private investigation service in Chicago, right?
And he was part of the Cicero crew.
Now they didn't get into that on this New York Times piece.
No, they didn't want to get sued for slander.
Didn't get into that at all. I just want to.
They wanted somebody like me to say that. They told me when I was talking to the producer on the phone, Pappas, he told me, he said, well, we know this, but we don't have anybody to confirm it. And I said, no, I'm not going to confirm it.
Okay. I'm looking at side comments, guys. And yeah, it was Nick Calabrese that passed away, not Frank Calabrese Jr. Whoever was, they get that confused.
And
somebody
Polly says here,
Greg Polly looks like he spent most of his life locked up.
No. He did. Terminal Island. Yeah.
When did he go away?
18 years in there. Back in 2006.
Wow. Well, he got out a few years ago, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it was 2.5 years ago.
Right. So if it was 06, 14 years. Still,
yeah, but he had a 20-year sentence or something like that. He just did what he's supposed to do while he's in there. Didn't get any trouble. But it really did age him.
Repeatedly, every time he was released.
That's correct.
So he started doing his PI stuff in Chicago, and he you said to me earlier that Tony Spilatro may have employed him.
That was later, not may have. He did. That's a fact. It was mentioned in his courtroom transcripts. He worked for Tony. He actually put in all the electronics equipment at the Gold Rush Inn.
So in the movie Casino, when they're talking about, oh, I had all the best stuff and the top stuff, and that's who he got it from.
Right. And he worked with the government. He worked with the CIA. He worked with the FBI. The FBI called him in as a specialist to go over the tapes on JFK murder or assassination.
This guy's kind of
high profile. At one time, he was like the man. If I wanted somebody to fix my problems, if I had somebody blackmailing me, they were blackmailing me for something, this is the guy I would call to say, go take care of it. I don't want to know how you do it. Just go do it.
I found his interview quite interesting as far as they asked him, the girl asks him on camera, says, did you do anything illegal that you got away with that the police didn't find out about? And the guy, he literally sits there and said, are you asking me on camera if I did something illegal? You think that I'm going to Of course I did. This guy, no, I'm serious. It's he would be an interesting interview. He really would. They didn't ask the right questions. They didn't go the right places. Because somebody who's that deep in it, working Michael Jackson, Tom Cruise, all, Make My Problem Go Away, Chris Rock, all these folks. Did he ever work with Ernie Rizzo? Rizzo worked on the Helen Brock case.
Yes.
Okay.
I think I just told you that, but before we went on the air.
Go ahead. Tell it again.
They used to have a Mutt and Jeff act where Tony would wire some mobster's home. Maybe Joey, but anybody. No, I don't think he did Joey because it was Cicero, but he'd wire their homes, associates or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then they'd find out their wiretaps and everything else and all kinds of things in our house. And Ernie used to advertise, we'll sweep your house. And so then Ernie would come in and clean it and get rid of all the bugs and say, hey, you see this bug? You see that bug? And then he'd take them back and they'd put them in somebody else's house. It was a Mutt and Jeff act. They used to split the money right down the middle.
One thing he said in his interview that I thought was pretty interesting was, you find one little nugget about somebody, you find out that the woman had 3 abortions and she doesn't want anybody to know it. It ruined her career. And you let her know that you know that. And then that person sits there and says, well, what else does he know about me? If he knows that, if you knew that, how could it? So you find that one little thing. It's like mind fucking somebody. It really is. You sit there and you make them think that you know other things that you don't know. It takes a special kind of person to do it, but to know how to do it. You know what I mean? To psychologically fuck with somebody like that.
He was good.
Because that's what it is. It's
very intelligent man. Very intelligent man.
It's crazy. Slapsy Maxie. Adam Pellicano was a low-level detective, almost a nobody. Check out Sidney Korshak. I've never even heard the name. Who's Sidney Korshak?
Sid was a lawyer. He interned at the Stardust for a while.
Huh. I wonder if that
nowhere near Pellicano's level.
Sorry?
Nowhere near Tony Pellicano's level. Okay. Tim,
did he know Ori Spado?
Believe me, Ori Spado is not in this guy's league. Anywhere in this guy's league. He used to get $850,000, $500,000, $1 million for fixing cases.
But what they were in the same town? They might have known each other, though.
I think he only knew the news on him. He was in prison.
Hold on, Joe. Hey, Joe Collada has an Ernie Rizzo story. You want to hear it? I think we're ready for a Joe Collada story.
I think we are
definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I think everybody out here is ready for a Joe Collada story. So let's do this.
Guys, you have the questions on the side that are personal or to me, directed towards me. Right after this, we close this show down. We're having an after show on my channel, so you can join me there. and I'll be glad to answer your questions.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna give Mr. Collada a call, and let's hear his story. Give me just a second here.
Michael Graham said he's ready to hear Joe's story.
Everybody is. Come on.
Holman Sanders, how you doing, buddy?
Mob vlog without a
Michael Graham, all you guys. Golf boy.
There we go. Okay.
And Red, what's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on? How are you today?
Good. I got a good story about Ernie Rizzo.
All right.
I want to hear it, man. He was a character.
Policeman. I don't know if you guys knew that.
I did.
Yeah, he was a Franklin Park policeman. So one time when we lived in Franklin Park, my brother stole a 61 Thunderbird. And back then you used to be able to take the tags off of a car and put a tag on. So my brother steals the 61 Thunderbird and he retags it and he paints it. You never would have known that it was stolen. So my brother registers it to the girl he's dating, Mary, who ended up being his second wife. So he's got the car at our house, but it's registered by where Mary lives in Chicago. So my mother's going to go grocery shopping one day, and she says, Frank, I got to move your car. I got to take my car, and I'm going to go to Venture grocery shopping. He said, just take my car, Ma. So she takes the car, the Thunderbird. She goes to, no, Zares. It was Zares, not Venture. It was on Belmont and Cumberland. So she goes shopping. She comes walking out, and there's a guy standing by the car. And he goes, hey, lady, this is my car. And my mother goes, what? He goes, this is my car. He says, you did a nice job painting it, and you did everything. You changed everything. He said, but one thing, you left a little bumper sticker on the back. He said, that's how I know it's my car. He said, don't go anywhere. I walked over there and I called the police. They're going to be coming here. Back then, they didn't have cell phones.
Yeah.
So she says, get out of my way. She pushes him out of the way and she gets in the car and she drives home. But the guy took the license plate number off the car and she leaves. So the cops come and they says, he says, yeah, that was my car. Some little old lady was driving it and she pushed me out of the way and left. So my mother comes home. She comes in out, you son of a bitch. She starts hollering at my brother. How could you let your mother drive a hot car around? What's the matter with you? And he's like, no, it ain't a hot car. She goes, yeah, well, the guy said he knew it was his and you painted it and you did everything. You even put different floor mats in there. But one thing you forgot was you left the bumper sticker on the car. That's how I knew it was his car. He goes, that guy's crazy. Well, meanwhile, Ernie Rizzo is the investigator for the police. And he goes by, my brother tells Mary, the cops are going to come here and ask you about a car because I had it registered here under your name. And so when they come, just say you don't own a car and you don't know nothing about it. So she says, okay, so he's hiding in the bedroom and Ernie Rizzo comes there and he's married at the time, Ernie. So he comes there and he goes, Mary Javenko was her name. He goes, you own a 61 Thunderbird? Here's her, no. He says, well, a title was mailed here for a Thunderbird and at this address and everything. And she says, I don't own no 61 Thunderbird. And he sits down and he's talking with her and he says, can I have a cup of coffee while we're talking? And she gives him coffee or whatever, talking. He says, maybe we could go out for dinner or something one day. He asked her out on a date. My brother's hiding in the other room. He's infuriated over this because this copper's coming there asking his girl on a date. And my brother think he outsmarted him, but Ernie was there and everything. So my brother, the guy leaves. My brother goes, he comes home and tells us, he goes, tells me, you know what this guy did? He even asked Mary out on a date, this Ernie Rizzo. I'm going to get him. He takes the car and he brings it by Ernie's house, I believe it was. And he puts the car on fire out in front of his house in the middle of the night.
He torched it. He torched it.
Another true story.
That's hilarious.
So that's an Ernie Rizzo. That's an Ernie Rizzo story. I think I told it exactly the way it happened to me.
Yeah.
But
I heard the story before, Joe. It's identical.
I says I gotta tell that story about Ernie.
No, that's awesome, Joe. So thanks for telling that story. Did you know? Hey, did you know anything about Tony Pellicano?
No, I didn't. But I didn't know that he did all the wiring at Tony's store. I thought Ronnie DeAngelis did because I know he was an electronics wizard. But I could be wrong.
He admitted to it in court.
Made all the police radios and did all sorts of other stuff for Tony through the years and my brother and them. But I knew Ronnie DeAngelis did that. But I never knew that Tony Pellicano. But I'm not saying he didn't do it. He probably did do it because if he was that sophisticated or whatever, you know.
Yeah. Did you watch that piece about him on Hulu that the New York Times put out?
No, I haven't. No, but I will.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they ambushed the guy, but yeah. Anyway, I could see the outfit having a use. You know what I mean for him. Like, so it would be a useful guy to have around.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, sure. Get a legit guy to go do all your snooping.
There you go. Right.
I met him through Joe. I met him through Marshall Capano.
Ah.
Yeah, I didn't know him either.
Marshall, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know Marshall either. I know people who knew him, but I didn't know him.
Wow.
A good friend of mine was friends. A good friend of mine's father and was friends with Marshall and his brother Leonard.
Ah,
yeah, Lenny.
He had a brother, huh?
Yeah.
He had two Rocky and Lenny. Lenny was murdered.
I think he got killed. He got murdered when they were muscling that black guy out of the numbers, whatever they call that.
Oh, the numbers back in the day. Yeah. Well, what was that guy's name?
Oh my! Not Teddy Rose. I'm not sure. I don't want to say. I'm not sure. I don't want to say anything if I'm not sure about it.
No, I've looked them up because people have asked us to do shows on those guys that ran the numbers before the outfit got them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, Mo was locked up with the one guy in jail, and they were talking, and he told Mo about that. Then when Mo got out, then he brought that to Tony Accardo, and they ended up muscling in on them to do that. And that Leonard, I think he got killed during that when they were muscling the black guy. I'm not sure, but I thought that's a story I heard. Marshall's brother.
I believe they were partners, and then all of a sudden the outfit said, "No, we're going to cut them out."
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's what something like that.
I don't remember. Sounds about right.
It was way before my time, you know.
Yeah.
Just stories I had heard, you know, in the past.
Sure.
Okay, guys.
Hey, thanks, Joe. Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that in there about Ernie. He asked my brother's wife out there. It was his girl at the time on a date when he went there to investigate the
Well, he's in the other room listening.
Pardon?
Well, he was in the other room listeing. He said,
"Yeah, he was in the other room."
God, Frank could be fuming. He had to have been in there fuming.
Oh, I was. Here's this guy's asking around. We're gonna get this guy, whoever he is. We're gonna get him. You know.
You want your car back? Here it is.
Gosh.
So he ended up burning the car in front of the house.
Unbelievable. It's not unbelievable. It's believable. I believe it.
Oh, no, that would be my brother. That would be my brother back in the day. That probably had to be in the early 60s because it wasn't a new Thunderbird. Yeah. It was a 61, it was sharp, 61 Thunderbird blue. Yeah, so it probably.
I think Frank said it was 1962 or 1963.
Yeah, 63 or 60. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a Franklin Park policeman and that Ernie Rizzo.
Gosh, that's awesome. Thanks for the story, guys. Joe. You have a great rest of your day.
You too, guys. See you later. Good show.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So, awesome. I love Joe's stories. I really do.
I do too.
I thought it was the floor mats, but it was a bumper sticker. That's how the guy recognized the car.
Frank told this story on one of his stories.
I think he did, but because I remember hearing it before. But that's that Ernie Rizzo. That's the guy. So, Comments, guys. I'm going to pull up some
All
comments
these
here.
people that are asking questions on the side,
Yes.
come on over to my show after this one on my channel, and I'll be glad to answer it.
Slapsy, I will. I'm going to look at this Sydney Korshak that you keep
There's
popping
not
up.
much about
Sid. What's happening, boys? What's going on, Art? It's good to see you, man. I hope that you're doing well. We'll talk soon. Art and I are going to go to Dallas, and we're going to go check out the JFK shooting. We're going to go to the grassy knoll and all that, walk around and check everything out. We plan on doing that this year, hopefully. Make some videos about it. Red Shop name, the clown shook down. Johan, Red's shop name, the clown shook down. You were getting shook down. In other words,
didn't shake it down. That's a whole other story. Catch us on the other channel, guy.
Ron Ruse, the Stardust closed November 1st, 06. It was demolished March 13th, 07. Thanks for that bit of information. Just to throw that in there, Ron Ruse, if you didn't know, on March 13th, 07, they set the Guinness Book of World Records for the world's youngest skyscraper to be imploded when they imploded the Stardust Tower. It was only, I think, 14 years old. Don't quote me on that, though. It might have been like 17. I don't recall. But it was somewhere around there. It was under 20. Red. Did Red feel? Johan. Hey, Johan. Why do you have a moniker of Sally De Laurentiis as your picture? And your name, Johan. It's kind of crazy. Really. It's crazy. Mr. Hoffman, FD. Marshall was waked at Montclair,
Montclair Funeral Home.
Lucania.
We call it the Montclair.
All right. Red. So he was the Harvey Keitel character on Pulp Fiction, the fixer. Remember that Harvey Keitel in Pulp Fiction? He shows up. He's like, all right, we're going to get things done here.
Mr. Wolf. Mr. Wolf.
The Wolf. Yeah. Get the garbage bags, get the broom, get the this, the shovel. And yeah, he was
Pretty place with sugar on top.
That's funny. Jim Yeager, hey Adam and Red, let's have a mob vlog about lawyer Sidney Korshak, another Hollywood fixer. Second person asking about Sidney Korshak. Who is this? He's a lawyer.
There's very little written about him. Very little written about him. But when the Stardust went into receivership, he was there, and he was an attorney. So very little written about Sid.
All right. So Art wants to know, where's the Riccio video for those of you who don't know. So we sat down with Tommy Riccio, and he was the one who set up O.J. Simpson to be arrested over at the Palace Station here for the stolen memorabilia. Tommy's a memorabilia collector. So is Art Kelly. They know each other. So he put me in touch with them, and we did an interview at the Rainbow Bar and Grill. And Art and I had so much fun while we were doing that video that you can hear Art in the background breaking open beers, digging through the ice cooler, making all kinds of noise. And I haven't really edited that video down yet, but it's Tommy, a really good video interview about him and how he set up O.J. Simpson and what all went down that day, which I'm really planning on posting. I don't know if you guys would even be interested in seeing that or not. But it's for the new tour, the crime tour. So Art, to answer your question, the clip is on the Vegas crime tour. So of Tommy sitting there holding up the piece of memorabilia that we pass around on the bus and saying, hey, I'm the guy who set him up. It's really cool. Anyway, we're going to hopefully have that up if I can somehow edit the OJ fixer, Tommy Riccio, exactly what he was. He fixed OJ all right.
Certainly did.
Everybody misses Frank. Razor coffee cup, toast Frank. Great story, Joe.
Coffee cup.
He was going to end them with going out on a date to the drive-in theater in the stolen car. That would have been a different ending, but no, I think blazing car in front of the cop's house was a much better ending. The Daily Plaza, the 6th floor assassination museum, is a joke all about Oswald. Keep that in mind when I go there. I'm taking
Yeah,
it.
you paid to go up and see the actual window and view, and it's all roped off.
I know. Look at how did we go from Tony Pellicano to Lee Harvey Oswald's window? I mean, honest to God. And I
Let's
guess the
go
only
back on subject here.
Lee Harvey shot off that day was his mouth, according to Anthony DiMartini. Ron Roos, the construction of the Stardust Hotel was finished in 1991. Thank you. Which would have made 07, quick math, 16 years. 16 years old when it was imploded. So, anyway, it was.
By the way, Tony Pellicano wrote a book. I just looked it up. There's only like 12 or 13 reviews on it because it came out in like 21 or maybe 22. Yeah. And it's on the description down there. You can order the copy of his book. It's called The Neighborhood.
RV Doc, please don't disrespect Solly D. He's actually a nice guy. I don't think we did.
No disrespect on my part.
I don't know if there's somebody did in the comments over here on the side I didn't see.
Yeah, the guy that had his head, he had Solly D's head. You mentioned it.
Yeah. Johan, he's got the yeah, but I don't think we're disrespecting.
There's a lot of that going around these days.
But no, we're not disrespecting anybody. I just read a book about OJ, pretty conclusive, proves his son did it. John McShane. His son did it. John, no.
That's what
no
says.
No. We're not going there. Let's get back to Anthony Pellicano. Come on, man. We're not going there today. Honest, we can't do that. Jason Diamond, new name. Welcome into the show. Maybe Ernie thought Frank might be the other room, so he asked Frank's girlfriend to get him to react and reveal himself in the bedroom. Jason, yeah, I thought the same thing. When
Ernie wasn't that sharp. Ernie wasn't that sharp.
The cop was trying to goad him to get him to come out, right? To show him
wasn't that sharp. If you met Ernie and you knew him, you'd know he wasn't that sharp.
Really, Red?
Yeah.
Really. All right, I'll take your word for it. But Jason, I agree with you, okay? Because I do. I thought the same thing. I really did.
And somebody made a comment about Ernie. I didn't want to go into it because I want to talk about Tony. But he was involved in the Helen Brock case. He was involved in the Schuessler-Peterson case. And this goof lawyer, what's his name? I don't know. He was the heir to the Crown Liquor family. And he had Ernie with him. And they went to depose me, and Ernie was sitting there. And I said, no, I don't want to talk to you about anything. There's nothing I want to talk to you about. And he said, do you want to talk to my investigator? Ernie looked at me and I looked at Ernie, and we both shook our heads and said no.
All right, so maybe he wasn't really that bright of a guy, you know. All right.
No, Tony Pellicano, Mr. Hunt, he never killed anybody.
Right. There was never a he never did any of that.
Allegedly, he took a baseball bat to a few people's legs, but he never killed anybody.
Matter of fact, in the interview, people insinuated, and again, this piece that the New York Times did on Anthony Pellicano, it was a hit piece. It really was.
It was a slander.
No, totally what they got every single person that had something bad to say or something that had some type of accusation that made him look bad, and they put it all together. Now I see why you didn't do it when they called. I see why you didn't. Why you said no, and backed away from it, because they didn't make him look. They really didn't. But he said in the interview, "Did I ever threaten a woman about her children? Of course not. Like, who the hell would who would do that?
He didn't do that.
I see him as being a violent person. I see him as being a very smart person that used information to bend people. I mean, that's what he used information. He didn't use
the cases that he took. They're documented. The cases that were documented. They were by agents that worked for Hollywood stars, and they were being blackmailed, or something was happening in their life. So divorces, all different kinds of problems. So he went on the side of the underdog to straighten it out, because they didn't want to go to the police. They didn't want it in the news.
Yeah, they didn't. Nicholas Seifert. Hey, we're having Nick on, by the way.
How you doing, Nick?
And we're going to be doing a special broadcast on the 26th Sunday.
Ernie Rizzo did an alibi for Joey Lombardo in the Family Secrets thing.
He did an alibi for Lombardo in the Danny Seifert murder.
That's correct.
Pellicano did.
Yes.
Pellicano?
No. Ernie Rizzo.
Rizzo
Ernie
did. Okay, gotcha. I'm sorry, we're changing subjects there.
Tony Pellicano was in prison.
Rizzo. Okay. And we'll talk about that too, by the way, when we have Nick on the show. Nicholas. Bobby Bag of Donuts. This might be a silly question, Red, but how did Tony really Spilatro? How did Tony Spilatro's brother end up going with Tony to the house in Bensonville? Didn't they ride in the same vehicle, the same van?
Yes. They were picked up by they were brothers. They were supposed to go together. They lived in the same
I don't know.
It was like a duplex. It was like a duplex.
Well, yeah, they lived in the duplex, but they met at the airport because that's where his car was left.
You're right.
At the airport. They found the 007 cassette tape and all that in the right.
That was actually a meeting spot. There was a restaurant there where a lot of people used to meet.
So I don't know. I think they both went because they were together. Would think so. T. I heard Johnny Russo beat the hell out of Pellicano when Pellicano touched. Hey, by the way, I said this to Red earlier, and no, I'm serious. I don't make fun of people's names and shit, but seriously, that is the best name for a private investigator. It really is. Red, you've heard the saying, "Oh, I heard it from a little birdie." You always heard that. Oh, a little birdie on the yeah.
How about a pelican?
Pelican, yeah, like a pelican, a Pellicano, right? It's like a greatest name for a PI. I thought so anyway.
He was a very sharp man. Very sharp man. Had a wonderful career.
Yeah, I'm not by any means.
I believe he's 76 years old now.
Doug
got a picture. Show him the picture.
Oh, of Tony? Yes, sure. So here's what he looks like. And
then you could show him years earlier too.
Sure. Now that one's that was what we're using for the thumbnail. That's what the New York Times Presents used on their. This is what he looks like now. That's from the shot. So from the episodes that they had up. It's a little older now, but still, dude, I would love to interview him, Red. I would love to have him on this. I wouldn't go anywhere where the New York Times went. I would ask him questions about how he got started in it or what it was like working with those, what the different egos, dealing with different egos were like. Because in that
he worked for Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson's the only client that he dropped.
That's correct.
Now, in the piece they did, which by the way, you guys can watch that on Hulu, but don't search Anthony Pellicano. Don't search Sin Eater. Don't search the things that you would think to search to find the episodes. You have to search New York Times Presents. And then it's in an episode, I think 3 and 4 of that.
And I believe they have New York Times Presents. They have their own videos online where you can go on your device or computer because I've seen them.
Yeah, they didn't make it easy to find, unfortunately, which is unfortunate. But but check it out. It's interesting. In it, he talks about several clients that he worked for. Michael Jackson, he said, I don't work for him, but in no way of me not working for him is insinuating he's guilty of anything. But in another interview I saw, he said, Michael Jackson's the only one that I dropped as a client, and it was because of his morals and values that he dropped them. Which to me said something happened that he didn't.
He said, and another thing, it's on the internet, you can read it. He told Michael Jackson, you better not be lying to me, because if you are, you're in more trouble than you would be before they got you.
Yeah. Hey, Royal, zombies later on tonight. We're going to shoot zombies. Sorry, that's my buddy Royal, man. We shoot zombies in VR. And that's what we do to forget about life. We stand there for an hour and we shoot zombies and we run around different places and VR. It's so much fun. If you guys had any idea, you wouldn't be watching the show right now. You'd be in VR shooting zombies. Okay. I'm serious. It's that much fun, really. He looks like Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger. I don't know if he, and I'm a big Freddy Krueger fan. Devin, really, I am. I loved all the Nightmare on Elm Streets. I even wasted I probably spent $20 calling a Freddy Krueger hotline to answer trivia questions at a payphone when I was a kid. I mean, it's a long story, man. But anyway,
I want to answer my.
he's not burned enough. You know what I mean? I don't think. I guess for a little bit, maybe. Yeah, it's a stretch, Devin. Go ahead, Red. Michael Graham had to be very careful with his words when speaking about Michael Jackson in order not to be sued for slander. I'm sure. 100%. You know what? Everything that he said.
I Tony Hicks.
Red, you broke up. I didn't hear you. Hey, Red, your connection's a little weak right now. You got to repeat yourself. Okay, Red. Yeah, you got to start over. You froze up for the last 10 seconds. And you're frozen again.
I said Tony Pellicano has class. He would never do anything like that. As a matter of fact, there were so many people that he never mentioned during his own trial because he didn't want to get them in trouble. He didn't want them to go to jail, to prison. So he kept quiet the whole time. He just would not bring up anything that they didn't know already. He didn't bring up any new stuff. That's for sure.
Pellicano's 78. He was released from prison on his 75th birthday. So Tim Hunt, yes, he is still alive. And that piece they did on him, Kissy Cat, each interview he spills more.
That's correct.
God, I would love to interview him, Red. You know that. I'd love to have this guy on the show. Honest to God. Royal, zombies. Yes, we're going to do zombies. We got zombies in Philly. Yeah, we were looking at that video, the people walking down the street on all the drugs out there. And yeah. Why take a dive for wealthy stars? But he did.
That's correct.
But he did. Right?
He has morals. He has morals. He's got ethics.
2 years ago, when you and I first did an episode, we first talked about Anthony Pellicano. I Googled around, and he had a website. It was like Anthony Pellicano, private investigator, and there was a contact. Put in your name and number if you wanted to contact. Okay. So
I did. I put my name and number.
Okay. I went and looked for that site because I was going to drop a message, to him. Gone. I can't find it. And I went, well, wait, is it just because everything's saturated right now because of this piece that came out and it just buried his website? No, I can't find it. I mean, I've looked everywhere. Kate M. Pellicano treated his female employees like dirt. Shows his true character. All right. So I watched that deal, and there were a couple of his employees that said that. They said, yeah, that he tried to kiss them. He'd tell them, here's some money, go get your boobs done. Your boobs.
They lost their job. They lost their job. They were out of business. That was it.
I'm not saying any of that's right. I'm just saying that there was a different time.
Who knows it even happened?
And then did it happen? Maybe it didn't. I don't know. Do people make mistakes? Fuck, man, we're all human, of course. Everybody makes a mistake, says something they shouldn't say, or does something inappropriate at some point or another in their life. Well, of course. Nobody's perfect. Yeah. Nobody's perfect. You just, my friend told me yesterday about the new zombie virus coming out in 2025. Tim Hunt, if there's another virus that's going to come out that's going to turn people into zombies and it's happening in 2 years from now, it's over. The hell with it. Pussycat, was he compensated for serving time? Wait, now that's a good question because Red and I talked about this. Okay. The website, his website, Red speculates that maybe that website was put up when he got out of prison, kind of as like a bat signal, like the bat signal up in the sky. Red, you were insinuating his website might have been like to let people know, hey, you might want to.
Somebody started a trust fund for him, where if each individual puts in $5,000 a month.
Okay.
And they don't want to give their names; they're all stars.
Tom Cruise, Chris Rock. You're going to go in, yeah.
But I think he wanted more, so that's why I think he did it. That's my own speculation, folks.
But you think that he's compensated, right? These guys that
I know he's compensated.
Kept his mouth shut.
It's yeah. He kept his mouth shut, so he sent in a message said, "I did the right thing. Do you appreciate it or not?"
Put a little money in here, right? Golf boy, what do you mean nobody's perfect? Sign Jesus Christ. Yeah, there you go. Royal, yeah. Roy and I are going to be ready for those zombies, man. We practice every day. As I write this, I'm enjoying an Italian beef with fries at Luke's Deli in Janesville, Wisconsin. You suck. The crowd sucks. All right? Me hungry, man. Damn. Why do you do that right at the end of the show? Everybody's got to sit there and I'm pretty sure Pellicano is still alive.
Yes, he is. Yeah, 78 years old. He's alive.
Yes, he's alive. Gosh, it'd be really interesting to talk to that guy in an interview. Really would be.
He's an interesting person.
Man,
and he's lived one hell of a life.
What are the egos of those different people to work for them? And you hear, they played the wiretaps. I guess most of the stuff that incriminated him was him recording himself, because he always recorded every phone call that he made. So him doing deals with people, I guess the FBI got a hold of, and that was part of what, incriminated him. Did you know that he represented himself in court?
Yes. Let me explain this to the viewers out here. In 2006, he was arrested, and they had a warrant for his office, and they went in there and they found fully automatic weapons, grenades, all different kinds of things. So the ATF,
C4 explosives in his safe.
Yeah. C4. They found C4 in there. So they arrested him on an explosives charge. While he was in prison, they got all of the wiretaps that he made. And then it took him like a couple of years, and then all of a sudden they indicted him on those, I don't know how many counts, outrageous amounts of counts of illegal activities. So he had to go to court that time. And that's when he represented himself on that one.
Yeah.
I believe he didn't want some lawyer bringing out some questions about a client that he didn't want to talk about.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Sorry, I just Leanne rolling along. Did somebody say zombies? I'm good at axe throwing. Leanne, you're on our team. You bring your axes, babe. We'll shoot zombies, throw axes at them, and whatever it takes. Then we're going to take care of it. T just had a sausage with peppers at Roma's. Can anyone watch the movie Casino too many times? No, James. I've watched it over 1 million, and it's still not enough. So I'm living proof that it can be done. If there was a way to make a movie about that, yes, Joshua Allen Marshall, never saw you. Welcome to the channel. If they were to make a movie about Mad Sam, if they were to make one about Mad, we've talked about this, okay? Who do you think would be a good choice to portray him? All right. So I'm going to tell you exactly who would be a great person to portray him. And we've talked about Leonardo DiCaprio. We've talked about all kinds of guys. And here is the person who would do him the best. I'm going to put the pictures up side by side so that Isn't it funny that I actually somebody asks a question like this and I have an answer for him.
It is.
Where the hell is the picture, Red? I have a picture somewhere. No. It's the because it's the guy from Sopranos that has to play him. Who's the guy from Sopranos that looks like him? Somebody they put up a thing on Reddit. Here it is. I got it. I found it. Here it is. There we go. Save image. Boom. In my downloads. There we go. Here it is. Joshua Allen Marshall. This is for you. And where is it? Damn thing didn't save. Save image. There it is. Red. I can't find it. Let me just share my screen here. When you see this side by side, you're going to go, oh, yeah, that's totally makes sense. I mean, why wouldn't they use this? Share screen. Come on.
Here. You got to consider, too, the age of the actors now and his age when he was there.
See the two of them side by side there? He would look great. He looks just like Mad Sam, doesn't he? Yeah. I can't remember his name here, this guy. But anyway, he'd be the one. Steve Sharipa. No. That's not it. No. Anyways, but that'd be my choice anyway. Yeah, why not?
I go along with that. That's good.
Yeah. All right, Michael Imperioli. Thank you very much, John McShane. Adam watched Casino so many times he's able to point out every mistake in the movie. Yeah, we actually did that. We sat it for an hour one day and we pointed out every mistake in the movie. It was a month or so ago. Red, it's been fun today. Dude, we had a good time talking, but maybe one day, his website will pop up again and I'll be able to drop him a message and say, hey, would you do an interview? He's got a book out. Maybe he wants to sell his book, and
the link for that book is right on the description below.
Oh, yeah. We put the link to his book down below. So if you guys do want to buy, Anthony Pellicano's book, just click on the link below. So,
it's called The Neighborhood.
Yeah. We're going to jump over by Red's channel, guys, and talk about Tony Spilatro and various other topics. If you're new here, be sure to hit the like button. Don't leave without hitting like. Subscribe if you haven't already. And, hey, come on back next Wednesday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we're going to be talking about, well, something. I'm sure we'll figure it out over the next few days, guys. Guys, it has been a great time today. It's been fun. You come out to Vegas, be sure to take the Vegas Mob Tour. It is open, it is going, and it's a lot of fun. Or take the Vegas Ride.
If Joe Collada wants to come on, why don't we have him come on next week?
That'd be fun too.
I'd ask him.
He comes on damn near every week anyway with the stories, so something. Who knows? Vincent Skibana. I'm a real caveman. I just now realized you still have a platform on this genre. Sorry. I honestly thought when Frank died, rest in peace, you were through with this. I always watched you and Frank. Vincent, hey man, yeah, we kept the channel going. You got to keep things going somehow.
2 years. 2 years you and I have been doing it.
2 years that we keep doing this. So
why?
People seem to, I don't know, they seem to enjoy it. And it beats the shit. I ask Redderby, really, why do they want to sit here and listen to this and talk? But you guys do, so we keep doing it. It's an awesome tour, Devin said. Yeah, Devin was on the tour. It was.
Don't forget to go out on Adam's tour. It is great. You'll love Adam's tour. Tours, plural.
Kathy Jean, thanks for watching. It's glad that you hung out today.
God bless you, Kathy.
All right, guys. It's been fun. Red, I'll see you next week. Take care. Mob Vlog.